Finding a new gacha game to invest time into can be a difficult, arduous process, often resulting in a sense of attachment anxiety. What if this gacha game isn't worth it? What if it isn't better than the game I'm currently playing? Or, the more difficult question, what if it is worth it? What if it is better? As an avid NIKKE, Arknights and Wuthering Waves enjoyer, I can relate. Moving on can be painful, but that shouldn't stop you from trying new games, especially when 2025 is looking to be one of the biggest years for gacha releases to date. With dozens of launches happening every single month, I wanted to take the time to help you narrow down what you should be focusing on. That way you don't miss out on something that could redefine how and what you play. I cover all of these games on my main Stix channel, so if you want to know more about a specific game, I'll have links to every game's respective video down below. So let's just jump right in. If this is your first time here, consider subscribing to the channel, hitting that little bell notification. That way you remain up to date with every single thing that I post, and I post several times per month. Do not miss out. Abyss Knights is an upcoming gacha game where players take on the role of Atal, a young knight who was betrayed by her country. Combat is complete action. You cycle through numerous abilities, with every character having their own distinct set of skills and combat styles. The game features a top-down isometric perspective and reminds me very strongly of Lost Ark. Abyss Knights also seems to have a segregated world, with every zone allowing complete freedom to explore. Arknights Endfield is a large-scale open-world anime RPG gacha from the developers of Arknights, most popular, arguably most successful tower defense gacha on the internet. Endfield features an enormous semi-open world, not on the scale of Genshin or Wuwa, but more open than most. It doesn't feature a fully interactable or explorable environment like the aforementioned titles either, rather focuses on a slightly more linear style of exploration. It utilizes a hybrid semi-real-time action combat system with slowdowns between certain abilities, opening up unique tactical opportunities for players. And characters look absolutely incredible. Some of the best character models I've seen in a 2025 gacha. Astaweave Haven is Hoyo's next major release after Zenless Zone Zero. Footage is available online, however, Hoyo have taken down videos featuring gameplay, so I'm gonna refrain from showing it. What we know and what we've seen is an Animal Crossing inspired gacha featuring smaller, more chibi characters. No combat has been shown thus far, but we know a lot of social aspects are going to be present. There aren't really any gacha games like this, so I'm genuinely curious to see how this unfolds, given the size of Hoyo's total player base. Azur Promilia is a brand new upcoming open world anime gacha RPG from Manju, the developers of the popular free-to-play friendly Azur Lane, releasing cross-platform on PC, PS5, Android, and iOS. Azur Promilia features a fast, fluid action combat system with the option of swapping between 3 different characters, each with their own unique pets, with their own distinct elemental affinities. There is a functional farming system present, full flight, mounts, and more, making Azur Promilia one of the most innovative new upcoming gacha games in the making. If any game has the chance to succeed in 2025, it is this one. Black Beacon is an upcoming gacha game from a relatively unknown developer. Combat seems to be complete action, however the game seems to utilize a top-down isometric perspective, which not everyone tends to enjoy. That doesn't seem as though it's going to inhibit the combat in any capacity, as the game looks fast and feels very fluid. It has a dark anime aesthetic, feeling much gloomier than its vibrant counterparts. It is also already in the process of holding beta tests, meaning it is far enough through the development process that they're willing to let players in-game to play. Cedar is a real-time tactical gacha game with military themes. Players will use their fingers to control the battlefield in real time, experiencing hundreds of different battles across a variety of different environments with varying terrain. There will be multi-dimensional tactical deployment, infantry tank coordination, firepower bombing, providing unique opportunities for players to create tactics, leading them to victory. There are at present dozens of characters to recruit. Each character has their own personality, and you'll be able to get to know them on a personal level, supposedly becoming their quote-unquote irreplaceable person. The game takes place on an alien planet, blending together Earth and space to make for a game we've never seen before. It also features an entirely Russian dub as opposed to Chinese, given this is a Chinese game. Chaos Zero Nightmare is a cosmic loop RPG set in a post-apocalyptic world where the only survivors are forced to flee Earth due to the Chaos Zero project. The game is being developed by Super Creative and published by Smilegate, Lost Ark, Epic 7. This is confirmed to be releasing on PC, Android, and iOS. This is a collectible RPG, meaning that you collect characters, and gameplay will be an amalgamation of roguelike, which are procedurally generated dungeons, turn-based combat, grid-based movement, along with a permanent death feature. It is unconfirmed at present how this will necessarily function, but I can't imagine that really being very fun or rewarding if you spend money on obtaining characters that just die. Duet Night Abyss is a fantasy adventure RPG with an enormously open, freely explorable world. It features a deep, rich narrative telling the story of demons from dual perspectives. Players can select one of two different protagonists, male and female, as they move through the world, collecting numerous characters via gacha. There is a fast, fully functional action combat system present, allowing for multiple weapon loadouts. Both protagonists have vastly different backgrounds and will tell stories that unfold differently depending on who you choose. To what extent is currently unknown. Players will seamlessly swap between both ranged and melee weapons, allowing you to play in an entirely new way, breaking free of traditional limitations imposed by action gacha games. Combat is fast and fluid. You'll engage enemies on the ground and take to the air to unleash massive barrages. You can climb, fly, slide, double jump. There are a large number of movement techniques that allow a whole new level of exploration. Duet Night Abyss will be releasing globally on PC and mobile. Elpisoul is a real-time tactical development RPG where the player takes control of an expedition team fighting against the devil. It seems as though the game is a horizontal side-scrolling idle RPG from the gameplay that I've seen, yet labels itself as a tactical RPG. The goal of the game was to provide players a JRPG-like experience with a deep narrative, turn-based combat system, and cute, chibi graphical style, which could be really fun. Mist Sequence is a futuristic retro fantasy real-time strategy RPG that could potentially rival the likes of Arknights or Path to Nowhere. According to the Bilibili page, players will be descending into a continent enshrouded with fog to explore the truth, while mediating between the four forces with unique cultures and seeking balance. Mist Sequence is going to feature real-time combat. Both enemies and player-controlled units will move across a grid-based field in real time. The narrative will be told in both 2D and real-time 3D, with 2D models being vertical hand-drawn and 3D allowing them the ability to create beautifully crafted cutscenes. It seems as though the game will feature a progression system much like Punishing Gray Raven, Azure Lane, Honkai Impact, and so that there are chapters and missions as you progress through chapters by clearing missions. Nemonic White Shadow is a Korean Unreal Engine 5 open-world turn-based RPG, so Honkai Star Rail set within Genshin Impact's world. Unfortunately, Nemonic has very little information revealed at present. We do know that it is going to be an open-world RPG, with its trailer showcasing a beautiful aesthetic. The turn-based combat looked good, the character models looked good. Honestly, reminds me a lot of Lord of Heroes. Neverness to Everness is an urban fantasy RPG brought to you by the developers of Tower Fantasy. It features a fully open explorable world with arguably more interactivity and exploration options than any other gacha game right now. You can drive a car, you can ride buses, trains. It has what is probably the most advanced type of wall running you'll find, although from what I've seen, it's not fully fleshed out yet. It utilizes action combat with parries, dodges, and a vast array of different characters to recruit. This could potentially be really big. I just hope that they're not biting off more than they can chew. Very little is known about this project. It is arguably the most ambitious project of the next several years. There is no footage available at present. However, Shift Up confirmed not only is this game going to be fully open world, but it's going to feature a more action-oriented style of combat, a stark contrast to the mostly idle-based combat found in NIKKE. With Shift Up's ability to tell an incredible story with deep, complex characters, this new NIKKE Gacha is going to probably redefine the genre. I know it's not coming in 2025, but I felt the need to list this either way. Project Crescent is an upcoming South Korean gacha game. It's unknown at present what style of combat Able Games will employ. From the single trailer released, it seems like encounters will be turn-based, but comments online are claiming action combat, so we'll have to wait and see. It also utilizes a beautiful anime aesthetic, one of the better looking ones I've seen so far. Unending Dawn is an anime RPG with fantastic character models, a dark, grim open world, enormous boss battles. This is Genshin Impact if it got invaded by monsters from Dark Souls, an anime Elden Ring, as it were. This looks violent, it looks impactful. Your character looked like they'd been through a lot, like she felt the impact of every weapon swing. Unending Dawn is an open world RPG. We know it's going to feature gacha elements. We know it's being developed utilizing Unreal Engine 5. Parasite confirmed their goal of creating the very first large-scale AAA-funded Soulsborne experience that will be fully cross-platform compatible between PC, console, Android, and iOS. Wang Yue is an upcoming open-world action RPG. It is set in an imaginary Chinese-styled world where players are often found looking at the moon as they battle through numerous encounters in an attempt to defeat the 9 world suns. Wang Yue is confirmed to be releasing fully cross-platform on both PC and mobile, with console platform functionality coming in the future. Since announcing their trailer, they've received a lot of feedback, including but not specifically pertaining to the UI and the graphics. It was confirmed that they would be working to resolve and improve various aspects of the game moving into the future. The world is fully open, allowing players to explore it at their own pace. The world is also populated by AI-generated NPCs, allowing every single person playing to have a different experience. There are functional vehicles present, allowing players to not only drive but build their mounts from scratch. Xunjing, also known in English as The Realm, is a fantasy-themed open-world adventure shooting game with a high degree of freedom. Players will control a single character during battle, with the option of cycling through a grand total of 3 characters at any given time, if what the screenshots show is to be believed. Combat takes the form of a third-person shooter, kinda like Snowbreak, but with more of an open world, with functional grappling, dodging, and a variety of different weapons. And that is currently it. They are the best the genre has to offer right now. Everything you should be on the lookout for. More gacha games will likely pop up over the coming months, and I'll be covering each and every one of them over on my main Stix channel. Until then, may the RNG gods bless your pulls. Hey you, where do you think you're going? Don't you close out of this tab. I didn't give you permission to do that. Sit your ass back down. Click one of the 2 videos that are gonna be on screen in just a moment and keep watching my content. Keep enjoying my content.